welcome back to the Elyse DeLucci Show, episode 79. As always, we're in my living room on the Upper East Side. Fact of the day, sleeping in a cold room can help you slim down. And they also say sleeping in a cold room helps you improve your sleep quality and helps you combat insomnia. This comes from my boyfriend telling me that I like to sleep in an igloo. I was like, first of all, I'd rather be cold than hot because nobody likes a hot, a sweaty Italian girl. That's number one. Number two is that I told him, I told you I'm on a diet. He never listens. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get the dieting thing. I don't really diet. I mean, we've talked about that before. I'm just trying to watch because, eating funny bones after I come home from a late night show isn't really the picture of health. And besides, it was my birthday last week and I just think that my body shouldn't probably be consuming those kind of calories and that kind of those kind of junky ingredients because all of a sudden I feel like I got a year older and my metabolism slowed down. What's up with that? I started Pilates again. I should say again. I restarted Pilates, but it's been a long time. I'll say I used to do Pilates. Do you do Pilates? Because I used to do Pilates on the reformer, which is like a wooden box, kind of like a coffin without the top, and with weights and straps attached, like a cross between a coffin without the top and an electric chair. So I did it like 10 years ago, pre-kids, and I felt amazing. My posture was great. I was lean. I felt long. I was toned, for like 6 months. But that's because I didn't have kids, and I feel like my body was so malleable, and I was younger. But, now I just been feeling so sluggish lately. My clothes aren't fitting. It's not a nice feeling. And my posture is not so great because I'm lugging computers around all over the city or I'm, slumped over in my lazy boy, doing something on I don't know. So I said, let me do Pilates reformer. So I signed up. I'm going to this place on the Upper East Side. I got private lessons. And here's the thing. I've been in yoga classes before, and I've even been in Pilates reformer classes, but like when you're in classes, you can hurt yourself even more if you don't know the poses and all that stuff, right? So I, or I should say, not even hurt. Well, you can hurt yourself, but it's less effective. So I set out, let me get a little package of private lessons, do it, 5-6 times, and then I'll join a class. And I did the first one. I did a 30-minute, session for the first one because, it's the first time I exercised in probably 10 years. And, and now I feel like I'm on my way to being a Baywatch model. Isn't that funny? We all do that, right? Like we run 1 mile and I'm like, God, athletes are always starving. I was good though. I've been good. I did the Pilates and I've been, eating healthy-ish. Not at night. That's the trick, right? Not at night. Anyway, so my birthday, I went to Atlantic City for my birthday. That was fun. We usually stay at the Borgata. I usually stay at the Borgata. I like the Borgata. Everyone stays, I feel like, at the Borgata. But this time we stayed at the Hard Rock. I think the Borgata was sold out or something. And we saw a show. I love cabaret music and bands, and I love live music. I love all that. So Clint Holmes was playing, and he had a one-hit wonder like in the 70s, but he sings like Billy Joel songs, and he sang a few Broadway numbers, and it was great. It was so great. I brought the average age of the audience down by 50%. Half the audience was in wheelchairs, but that's fine. I don't. What do I care? We had third row from the front, and it was the first time I've been to a show in the audience in like 3 years. So it was such a nice thing. And I was like, God, I need to get out more. It's funny when you're an entertainer, like you're always so busy on stage. You sometimes have to really like take a minute and say, okay, I'm going to sit in the crowd, buy a ticket and sit in the crowd. Because of course I see shows all the time, whatever, I'm in the clubs, but I'm not sitting and enjoying how you might be. I'm listening to the jokes, I'm watching the timing, all that kind of stuff of who is ever on the stage. But On my birthday weekend, we also we went to dinner at Patsy's, which is amazing on West 56th Street. If you've never been, please go. It's nothing. It's just it's a famous Italian restaurant, Southern Italian restaurant. The people, they're nobly done, like my family. The food's delicious. And I'm not just saying that. I really think the food's delicious. And this is different than Patsy's Pizzeria, by the way. Food's delicious. Prices, I don't know. The prices, I don't like the prices so much. But that's because a lot of tourists go, and it's been around forever. But I'm a born and raised New Yorker, and I think it's one of the greatest meals that I've had in a long time. I mean, but you're looking at like macaroni dishes, pastas, whatever, like, $25, $30, $35. That's a little high. That's a little high for that, in my opinion. But everything was excellent. Like a real fat girl, I decided to get a stuffed pork chop with vinegar peppers. I mean, because that's exactly what I should be ordering in front of my boyfriend. We ate earlier, right? Before we went, we ate earlier. And well, let me say, we were driving home from AC earlier. So we're coming home in the car from Atlantic City, coming back into Manhattan, bumper to bumper traffic. I'm getting nervous. I'm starting to sweat. And then I'm hungry because that's what happens. And I wanted to go to a rest stop. I mean, it's my birthday weekend. I could do whatever I want. So I said, I need to go to McDonald's right now. And he was like, Elyse, do you really need to get McDonald's? I said, I couldn't think of anything better. So he said, all right, if that's what you want to do. Went to McDonald's. You see, this is where the eating problem comes in. Got the McDonald's, and then so that was in the afternoon. And then so later we went to Patsy's, and I just decided I'm just going to do it up. I don't care. I'm going to unbutton my pants, and I'm going to sit here, and I'm going to put my shirt over it, and the white tablecloth will cover anyway. And nobody needs to see, and I'm going to have a pork chop. A stuffed pork chop. It was stuffed with prosciutto and mozzarella. It was so delicious. Smothered in vinegar peppers, and like it had a little mashed potatoes on the side. I have no business eating like this. Absolutely none. I took one bite and I gained 13 pounds, okay? My boyfriend, he had a soup and a salad. I said, who comes to this restaurant and has a soup? He said, me. I don't want to eat like this. I'm like so much. I said, you know what? You're boring. Sorry, you're boring. You're boring me. So that's what we did. And it was great. It was a great weekend. We did go down to the San Gennaro feast. I saw my friend Little Mo Mozzarella. That was fun. So too crowded, though, to take the kids. I went at night, like early evening, like 6:30, maybe, 6:30. Too crowded to take the kids. Too many people. And to be honest, obviously pot's legal, here, and everybody's smoking pot. My daughters are like, Mommy, what's that smell? Or rather, Mommy, what's that smell? And it wasn't enjoyable because everybody's walking, if you've been, which I'm sure, it's such a narrow walkway, and, through the little aisle of the feast, the little, you almost have to be single file, and they were, they're small and thin, and it was nerve wracking. And by the way, they saw the games, they have the games you could play. And, so they wanted to play a couple games. I said, okay, the shoot the gun water balloon one. And, you know how much they charge for these games? If you're an adult and you wanted to play the game, they charge $10 for one go, $10. And if you're a child, it was $5. I said, you know what? That's just robbing people. That's robbing people. Of course, I can afford to spend $5, $10, whatever. But it's $5 for my little daughters to play a little blow-up water gun game that is done in 1 second. So, that was a little disappointing, but everybody's struggling fine. Yeah, so it was good. It was really nice. Oh, my daughters, oh my God, this is so sweet. And it's my product of the day, but I guess I'll talk about it now. So sticking with the fitness thing, I finally decided I'm going to get a Fitbit. And I've been telling myself I'm going to get a Fitbit. I don't really particularly want to wear a Fitbit, okay? But I don't want to look like, Sporty Spice all day long. But I heard, I should be tracking my steps. So my daughters told their father that Mommy really wants a Fitbit. So, and they wanted to buy it for me. How sweet. And they went to the store with him, and they asked him how much it was, and I don't know how much a Fitbit is. Maybe it's $100 or something. I don't know. And They wanted to use their own money. So they had like, they get allowance, whatever. And they brought their little purses and, and we give them allowance. So, or I should say he gives them allowance. And they used $20 each to buy this Fitbit. I mean, I was like, literally had tears in my eyes. And of course, I immediately went to their piggy banks and shoved, like a 50 in each piggy bank. Cause I was like, oh my God. But they were so happy to give me this Fitbit. And I have to say, it's amazing. I got the black Fitbit, it's the Charger 4. That's the kind it is. I love it. I don't know what all the icons are yet, but it obviously tells the time. It tells my steps, my resting heart rate. I didn't want to wear an Apple Watch because I didn't want to, give away all my data, but Fitbit's not plugged into the Apple pipes, I think. And I love it. I totally love it. Talk to me in 2 months' time, but for now, I love it. And the fact that they bought it for me is all the more special. So yeah, that was the birthday weekend. It was really nice. It was nice. It was a beautiful, beautiful day. Beautiful, beautiful weather. Everything was great. I went to Dumbo the other day to one of my favorite stores. Do you know the brand John Fluvog? Brand's been around for a long time. They have a store in Soho. I should say Nolita. Shoe store. And they also have a location in Brooklyn. And they've been around for a long time. It's the founder, this guy, John Fluvog. He is Canadian, and he makes such high quality, funky, fresh shoes. Like super funky. Like the heels are curved and swerved, and they're awesome. I'll post a picture of a couple of their shoes on my Instagram story, but they're so cool. They're amazingly well made. Leather. They don't mass produce them. They only do maybe, I don't know, make a couple hundred of each pair, sort of thing. Sounds expensive. It is, but I bought myself a pair, and they're these little cowboy boots, but like booties, and I just love them. They're black, and they have a little like side silver zip, and they're super cute. Wear every day. I went to the Nolita store. They didn't have them. And they were like, oh, but we have your size in Dumbo. So I jumped on the F train and I went to Dumbo. And of course, like, a baby, I bought them. And then I was like, oh, we had them out. And that was my little present to myself. And it's great. I love the brand. You know who also loves this brand? Madonna wears John Fluvog, famously wears them. And Lady Gaga. They're just really crazy looking shoes. They're super crazy. You gotta check them out. They make men and women, and the boots I got are unisex, which I think is super cool. I was on TikTok the other day, and I was looking at a post, and this girl was talking about how beautiful her skin is. And she had beautiful skin, but you never know with all the filters and everything. And she told the audience on TikTok that her trick to beautiful skin, which I'm now starting to do because I'm into this. I need to have nice skin. That's important to me, especially like being out on the stage, makeup on, hot lights. She bought a pack of cotton washcloths from Amazon, pack of 12. And all she does is soap and water. Soap and water, whatever soap she uses, she didn't mention, on the washcloth. And that's how she washes her face every night. And she puts the washcloth in the hamper. And every day she uses a new washcloth. And that's her big secret to her skincare. The washcloth exfoliates the skin, and she throws it in the hamper, and she uses the new one because she was saying, I think she might be a dermatologist, but the wet, after you're done washing your face, the washcloth's wet, the bacteria grows and wet. And part of the reason why a lot of people have breakouts and rashes and blackheads is because they reuse that same dry washcloth, or they reuse that same dried off towel to dry or wash their face, whatever it is, and you're putting bacteria back into your skin, right? So I don't know, this isn't anything groundbreaking. This isn't anything like, oh my God, I just came across the most amazing beauty secret in the world, but my mother has been only washing her face with the washcloth for the last, however many decades. Like, that's all she uses. Soap, water, and a washcloth. And my mom has really nice skin, really beautiful skin. And that's it. And here's the thing. I think I told you a few weeks ago, I went to the dermatologist, and I told the dermatologist, now I don't always use a washcloth on my face. I should, but I don't. And she told me, when I told her that I washed my face with Dove soap and water, she was horrified. Next thing I know, I'm walking out with $250 full of products that I barely touch. And she's like, Dove soap? You use Dove soap on your face? What? And I was just like, yeah, like, what the hell's your problem, lady? It was like some cardinal sin. I'm sorry. What about every other person in the freaking world that they're lucky to have soap? Okay, there's some people that don't even have soap, and you want me to spend whatever it is, Elta MD. And I bought it, and I drank the Kool-Aid, but I didn't really, and I've been using it for the last couple months. I didn't really see anything different. So, you know what? I'm trying the washcloth thing. I got my pack of washcloths from Amazon. It was like $17, pack of 12, 100% cotton, white washcloths. I'm going to town. Can't wait. You know what I actually have been dying for, though? Speaking of towels, I love, this is going to become the linens episode, I feel like, very quick, because I have to tell you about those parachute sheets that I bought. I love floral towels and washcloths. I mean, I know, like I might as well be Sophia Petrillo, but I don't know. There's something about them. Like, I don't know if it reminds me of my grandmother or like, cute little, like, comfortable old lady Italian homes, but I love floral towels and washcloths. I know, I feel like you're probably like, was this girl crazy? And it just reminds me of, like, there's a sweetness to it. Now, I don't live with a man, so I could do whatever the hell I want, but I like a white towel with, like, some rosebuds on it or something, like the print, not like, things that stick up, nothing 3D or anything. And I can't really find it anywhere. I always look, and that's because who wants to have that in their house? Well, there's this store that does the amazing sheets on Park Avenue, D Portho. The website, you spell it D period PORTHAULT. French company. They make these insanely luxurious sheets. I mean, I feel like only royals use them. They're like $2,000 sheets, whatever. They also make towels, and they make the floral towels, little scalloped edges, little patterns of wisteria and baby's breath and roses. Oh my God, it's my dream to have these towels. It's my absolute dream, and I love them. And so I went online on my birthday weekend because I was like, I should get maybe some new towels. That would be a nice little thing. And the towel was like $500. Again. But I'm on the hunt. So if you know any floral towels, brands, let me know, because I would like to treat myself. That's why. Not to a $500 towel, though. So I got the parachute sheets. Let's talk about that, okay? I really don't like to talk about brand. I don't, I'm doing a lot of episodes of this podcast now, right? And and I know that we have listeners, of course, and there's a really nice amount of listeners. I don't really want to talk about brands because I don't, I feel like that's sometimes, not the best thing to do, meaning talk negatively about them. But I didn't like parachute sheets. So last week I told you I was in the market for bed sheets, new bedding. I decided, let me get some sheets. There's Brooklinen, which everybody swears by. It's like sort of the Casper of sheets. It's like they sell a set for a couple $100, and apparently it's the best, crispiest, most beautiful cotton sheets you can ever buy. And there was a competitor called Parachute, right? So I didn't want white, I wanted a different color. So get this clay-colored sheets from Parachute, which, by the way, I hated the color. I had terrible sleep in this clay color. I don't know. I need to sleep in, like, cool colors or white. I can't sleep in clay. It was making me schwitz the whole time. The sheets felt itchy. I don't know. They came in a couple days. I took them out. I washed them, dressed the bed. First night, I don't know. I just was itching all over the place. The king pillows came with the back, not the side slit to slide the pillow in. It was like the back, slit to put the pillow in, almost like a show pillow. I don't know if that was like a selection or it came with the set. I don't know. I didn't like it because I can't flip the pillow. If I'm sleeping on a pillow with the back, with the opening in the back, how am I flipping the pillow at night to get to the cold side? I mean, you need the cold side if you're going to sleep. So, I'm going from, spinning the pillow around just on one side. It wasn't a good experience. And they were just, the sheets, they just didn't feel that great. My daughter climbed into my bed one night. She's like, Mommy, I'm hot. They say that they're cotton. I don't know. They just seem to be made a little strange. Personally, I did not like them. But I didn't know what to do because I already washed them and put them on the bed. And, it's pretty much like they're used. So I call the company, and I love calling the companies because I don't know. I just do. I don't like to be on hold, but I like to call the companies. So I call them and I told them, I got these sheets came recommended, and and they're supposed to be wonderful, but I really didn't like them. But the problem is that I put them on my bed and I washed them, and I told her that I had sensitive skin and they were itching me, and I have like rashes all over me. Slight exaggeration, but I wanted to get my money back, and I told her like I really wanted to like this brand because you have nice colors and this. Not also totally true. And she said, don't worry. She said, I'm going to give you a full refund. I said, really? I said, even though I washed the sheets and I already put them on the bed? And she said, yes. She said, we give full refunds to our customers if they're really unhappy. She said, and we, listen to this, amazing, take the used sheets that you send back and we donate them to a halfway house. And I almost had tears in my eyes. I thought that was so nice. And I thought in that moment, I wish I really did like this parachute brand because that made me feel so good. One, they gave me no hard time. They didn't ask any questions about me not being satisfied. They didn't try to push them on me. They didn't say, you break it, you buy it sort of situation. And then they take it back full refund and donate the sheets. Is that not so nice? I'm not going to lie. It did have me think, and I don't know if this is just a crazy thing to think. It's nice, full stop, whatever. But if you own a company and somebody returns a product and you take the product and you donate it to charity, does that mean that the price of what the product is worth or the customer pays, you're able to use that as a charitable tax deductible? Because that would be so interesting. Like they're giving me my money back, but then they're using that money that I paid for the sheets as a deductible. So it's like they're giving me the refund, but then they're also taking deductible. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like a win-win for them. I don't really care what the hell they do on their balance sheet, if their finances. I am just happy that I got to return these things. I wanted to like them. Sorry. You know what I heard? Speaking of retail. Macys on 34th Street. Well, I don't usually go over there because I just feel like the whole store is like a zoo. It's hard to, I'll go sometimes. Like if they have the flower show, they had these like outside cool like light ups displays recently. I went, took the kids, but Amazon and by the way, and it's an iconic store, but I don't see the need to go to Macys because here we go. I buy most of the stuff that I could get in Macys online, on Amazon, whatever. Same thing with the sheets. I could have went to Macys and picked out sheets, but it's like, why? I got to then find out what the sale is at Macys. I got to take the bus over there or the train when I could just do it online. And if I don't like it, I'm just going to be able to send it back. And if it's Amazon, it's going to come in one day. And then I could send it back in another day, and I'll get my refund. And the time savings is more important to me than schlepping to the store. I do like to touch and feel things, but at this stage in my life, at this time in my life, it's more about the convenience for me. So anyway, Macys has their big building in Herald Square. We all know this. Amazon wants to put a billboard on top of Macys 34th Street. Now, Macys doesn't own the air rights to the top of their building. Macys doesn't own the air rights. In New York City, you could have air rights. So if you own air rights, you can build a terrace or you could put signage up, whatever. Macys doesn't own that. So it's just open air, and I believe that the advertising space, there is advertising space, billboard space on top of the building, and it's sold by, an outdoor advertising company. That's what they call the billboards. They call the billboard signage you see in Times Square, they call that outdoor media. So anyway, Amazon wants to put an ad on top of Macys, and I just think that's so freaking grimy. Don't you think? It's like, listen, Bezos, okay? You're the richest man in the world, okay? You're brilliant. Yes, you thought about having a giant Amazonian, rainforest of a bookstore, and then you expanded it to everything and the mother, and you dominated the freaking retail space. Everybody all over the world uses Amazon. Then you buy a supermarket, Whole Foods, and now you're doing grocery delivery. I mean, like, literally, we get it. You're a genius. But, like, you want to put your ad on top of Macy's? Why don't you just let Macy's live for as long as they're going to live, sort of thing? You know what I'm saying? I mean, doesn't that just sound horrible? That's like, you know what this is like? This is like having an old lady living in her apartment her whole entire life, 100 years old, and then all of a sudden a developer wants to come around and say, get the hell out, we'll give you $500 or $500,000. You know, these buyout deals that happen in New York. $500,000 to get the hell out, because we're going to turn this into like a luxury condo. And, you know, it's like, don't you have any heart to let that poor old lady live in that apartment? This is like the Amazon thing. You know, Amazon, that you're dominating Macy's. You know you're putting them out of business. You know that foot traffic into retail stores isn't a lot. You know that shopping is in person is down because of the pandemic. But you know what? Why don't you just go be a greedy motherfucker and go cannibalize their business even a little bit more? I mean, it's so obnoxious. It's like, I might not go into Macy's and buy my mother a pair of slippers for Mother's Day, but, to put the ad on top of, for Amazon to put an ad on top of Macy's feels wrong on so many levels. It feels disgustingly competitive. It feels greedy. It feels like you are you're just obviously cannibalizing their business even further. And it's a slap in the face to an icon of New York, and I'm not, I'm just not into it. Anywho, I got some exciting news. I just did a interview earlier today with a Instagram account, Modern Mom Probs, on Instagram. Check them out, at Modern Mom Probs. It's a girl, her name is Tara Clark. She has this huge Instagram account, like 700,000 followers. She used to live also on the Upper East Side. Then she moved out to New Jersey. And she's so cool. And she wanted to interview me. She wanted to interview a comedian for her Instagram show. And it was a quick little thing, Instagram Live, half hour. She asked me, why comedy, asked me a little bit about my life, where I'm from, how do I, sort of balance it all. It was super cool. You should check it out. Her Instagram is also really funny. She has like funny memes on there. And it actually made me think maybe I should start posting little one-line jokes on the gram. See how that goes. And I also did an interview with the Staten Island Advance. Also, that's coming out soon, about just being a native Staten Islander and being a woman in stand-up and all that kind of thing. So that's some really exciting stuff for me because, as we know, this is a male comedy. I always tell you so much, even though this podcast is about my life and juggling and all that, because I am a stand-up comic, I obviously talk about that a lot, or you guys know about my shows and whatever. And so much about this industry is just so hard and cutthroat, and it's so much, and it's so male-dominated. It's so male-dominated, and it's hard to get stage time. It's really, really hard. Not because I'm not funny, not because I'm not likable and relatable and all those things. It's just people have their people. And there are a lot of men that run these clubs, because that's a male-dominated space too, the owners of the comedy clubs and the theaters. And there are a lot of men that just don't think women are funny. They just don't. So, getting the press up, getting my name out there is so nice. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to me as a stand-up comedian, as a female. It means a lot to me as an Italian female, to be honest, because I know a lot of you guys that listen are Italian. Look, when like the Jersey Shore show was on MTV and stuff, it's like, if you watch the first episode of Jersey Shore, for example, which obviously had all those Italian American kids living in a house in Belmar, New Jersey, or whatever town it was, Seaside Heights. The first episode, like they were like themselves, but you could tell that they were like, Italian from New York, Italian from New York, New Jersey, whatever the hell they were from. But when you fast forward, you look at some of the later episodes, like they're such almost caricatures of themselves. And that's the thing. Society wants to make Italian people like just these, they want to portray us as not in the best light. That's all I'm going to say. And some people use that to their advantage, right? Like Snooki, she has her own store. She had a line of clothes. I mean, good for Snooki. And people love it and people buy it and great. But Italian people, historically, women especially, we're not viewed as business people. We're not viewed as having C-level jobs in the corporate world. We're not viewed as the people that are in the Ivy League schools. And why the hell not? So, I don't know what angle this Staten Island Advance article is going to go with me, but it was a really big honor as an Italian woman to have this kind of story. So yay for that. It comes out on October 14th online. I'll post it when it does, and then it comes in print, I think, the following weekend. So that's that, guys. I hope everybody is hanging in there, though. Speaking of shows and stuff, I was in a nail salon the other day, and, Aladdin opened on Broadway, and then I heard that they closed the show. Did you know this? I mean, it opened for one night. Everybody was so excited, Broadway opening, and COVID strikes again. It's just ridiculous. It's just so ridiculous. I promised my daughters that I was going to take them to go see Aladdin, and now we're not able to go do it. I do wonder, though, what's going to happen to all the Broadway theaters. I'm dying to go back to Broadway, go see a show. I love the theater, but those seats, they're so small and they're petite and they're so close together. And my boyfriend, who owns a club here in Manhattan, he had said to me that the theaters are really going to have they're going to struggle to survive because they need to sell out the full house to really turn profit, or they need to sell out the majority of the house to turn profit. And if you're only able to see people every other seat or every two seats, what is that? What is that? I will say, though, on the vaccination note, on the COVID note, when I went to Atlantic City, it was a little weird. Nobody wore their mask. No one, not in the casino. I mean, there's no windows in the casino. Hello, people, no windows. In the theater, no one had their mask. In Manhattan, we are wearing our masks everywhere, indoors, even outside. If there's a crowd outside, I pull it right up from my chin. It's almost as if nothing changed for me a year ago in terms of wearing the mask. I went to AC, not one mask in sight. Definitely weird. Definitely weird. So, and there are a lot of people that are unvaccinated. And look, at the end of the day, it's your business. But I don't know. A friend of mine had a death in the family. A young guy. He was in his 30s. Someone's son. The kid just did not want to get the vaccine. Fine. His business. But he died. He wound up getting COVID. And I don't know the details of it, but so it's like you're risking your life, and that's your own personal business, but it's hard when you're in big crowds with other people and you could be around other people that aren't vaccinated or whatever. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is there. All I know is that I'm feeling good about life right now. I'm happy that it's the fall. I'm happy that I don't have to be a sweaty Italian girl pounding the pavement, going to shows, schlepping my kids to school, and doing all that. I'm happy that the cooler weather is here. I'm on the hunt for a decent wool coat. If you know, a wrap coat. I don't want a button. I don't want a zip. I just want a wrap. I want just something easy. Throw on and go. If you know any, let me know. Anyway, that's it for the Elyse DeLucci show today. If you're in Pennsylvania, come see me October 10th at Soul Joel's Comedy Club. I'm at the St. George Theater October 15th. I am hoping I'm going to be out to Long Island soon. Got to call the owner of Governor's Comedy Club so I can get out there. Stay tuned for that. And the quote of the day is by Ellen DeGeneres, and it is, "Sometimes you can't see yourself clearly until you see yourself through the eyes of others." I love that. By Ellen. I kind of miss her. I don't know. I like her sitcom. I liked that show. Anywho, all right, that's it for the Elyse DeLucci show. I'm so happy that you're listening. Thank you. Leave me a review. I would love a review on the Apple Podcast Store. I look forward to talking to you next week. Talk to you soon. Ciao, ciao.